Well, tonight is story time. See, it's dark outside. As you can see, it is dark out there. That's a TV in the background. See, it's dark outside. And we're not using any kind of thing to change it to look like it is daytime when it's nighttime. Sometimes we do that. But we're not today. We're going to tell a story today dealing about a spooky cave. A spooky cave where many dared not to go. We know on the beach there was this cave that was near the waves. And many people told us stories and legends that many things went bump in the night and weird sounds, strange sounds were emanating from that cave entrance. One day, there was a group of teenage boys and girls who dared this young boy to go inside there to spend the night. He's like, "No, I don't want to go in there. You crazy. There's all kinds of weird screaming and howling and ghostly whoa noises in there, and I don't want to go in there." They said, "You got to go in there. We dare you to do it. If you do that, then you can be a part of our group." And they all shook hands and gave high fives to him, said, "You have to do it." So he had to spend the night in this scary cave. A lot of people thought it was nuts that they would dare him to go in there because none of those kids would go in there themselves, but they put him up to it. So he walked in the cave, and there were noises in there, and it scared him to death. While he was in the cave, he heard all kinds of howling and screeching and fluttering and things moving about. He didn't know what the ruckus was. He thought maybe there's someone dying in the cave of some horrible death. Or maybe someone was trapped hundreds of feet below in the ground to the earth. He didn't really know. But, as he was in there, he saw something fly by his head. He wasn't sure what it was, but it wasn't what you might think it was, but he thought it was. He saw shadows. He thought somebody was in there. So he said, "Who's there?" And of course the cave went, "Who's there?" Yeah, yeah. And of course, but nobody answered. But he kept hearing fluttering, something going by every so often. Turned out to be a little while later, he saw a bunch of bats fly by at 2 a.m. in the morning as they were going out for the pre-dawn feed. A lot of people thought there was ghosts and maybe spirits in the cave. Turned out to be it really wasn't any ghost at all. It was just a bunch of migrating bats that took the cave to seek it for refuge and a place to live. And it turned out that he turned out to be the boy that was the most popular boy in the whole school, because many people thought there was weird spirits in that cave. But really, there wasn't at all. It was just thousands of bats. And he lived there. He stayed there and spent the night, and they didn't bite him or anything. And he came out fine, and everybody was like, "How'd you do it? That cave's got all kinds of things in it." I said, guys, there's no such thing as ghost. Well, at least not in that cave, at least anyway. I stayed there. There's a lot of screeching and screaming and all, but it's not what you think. What was it? They all asked, and excitedly cheered and kind of confused. I said, "It's really a bunch of bats." And they all looked at him really stupid. But they were still scared stiff, thinking it was something else. So, things aren't always, the moral to the story, things aren't always what they seem. Because really, in reality, they're not. So even though somebody might say something, in reality, it may be something totally different. Like the cave, thinking that there's ghostly and demon spirits and weird things going on there, and people sound like they're trapped, was really just a bunch of noisy bats. So don't always believe what you hear from people, because a lot of times, what you hear a lot of times is rumors. That's also the other application to the story. Take care. It's Mikel DeSilvis from New Hunter Church of Christ. Storytime. Shalom. That's why they're called short stories, because they are short and to the point.